If you're navigating perimenopause or menopause, then you already know that the symptoms of hot flashes, irritability, mood swings, and apathy can be overwhelming and unsettling. Today, I'm sharing with you some practical ways so you can stay comfortable throughout your day. So let's go. Okay, the first practical way to stay comfy are these French linen sheets. Okay, these are very pricey. Let me just go ahead and put that out there. And if you know anything about me, or if you don't, let me just share with you, I am a very budget-friendly kind of girl. Like, I am not one to spend a lot of money on something just because 9 times out of 10, I feel that there is an alternative, a cheaper alternative to something, as opposed to paying like an exorbitant amount of money for something. So when I do recommend something that is in a higher price range, you need to listen up because there's a reason, and I will stand by that. So for example, these sheets. These sheets, it sounds like linen sheets would be scratchy and uncomfortable, but I promise you they are not. They are very soft, and the more you wash them, they also, soften a little bit more and more, but they are comfy right from the get-go and not scratchy at all. And what I can promise you, if you are suffering from night sweats, I have horrible night sweats, and I keep the room very cold, and I don't wear thick, heavy pajamas. Now, I do like to have heavy covers on me. I guess it's a sensory thing or something. I don't know. I just prefer that. I like the room to be ice cold so I can have heavy blankets on me. I just like that feeling. But the problem that comes with that is you're already having night sweats, and then you put heavy blankets on you. Of course, you're gonna sweat even more. So these sheets will alleviate that issue. I promise. I don't know what it is about linen, but it's just so breathable. And my night sweats legitimately stopped when I switched to these sheets. If you do nothing else, at least give these sheets a try if they're in your price range. If not, maybe save up for them, or there's some other things you can do. But I do highly recommend these sheets. They are amazing. This next item is also very pricey, so I do apologize for that. Let me just get the expensive things out of the way right now, but it is worth every single penny. This is also for people who are suffering from night sweats, which I have horrendous night sweats. Not anymore, but I did. But this item is called a chili pad. If you've not heard of it, I highly recommend it. There is a caveat. They have a newer model. I didn't really like that one. Ended up sending that back and getting the original model, and absolutely love the original model. And what it is it's like two, just two big boxes, let's just say, and you can put them under your bed, okay? And it's a mattress topper, and you put water, it has a water reservoir, you put water in it, and then you set your temperature. And it's dual-sided, so if one person likes it warmer or colder than the other person, you can each set your own temperature, and it heats or cools the water to whatever temperature you set it to, and it runs it through the topper, the mattress topper that you're laying on. You don't feel the water, you just feel the temperature change. And I am telling you right now, it is so amazing. It is a game changer. It is probably the number one thing that has helped me transform my sleep and get rid of my night sweats. Now, I know you may be saying, you just said the French linen sheets were life-changing, and they are. And the combination of the two is just heaven. Do you need them both? No. So if you're on a budget and you need to pick one or the other, I personally would probably go for the chili pad. And then later on, if you can add in the sheets, that would be my recommendation. But if I had to pick one or the other, I would go chili pad. Now, if you've tried the chili pad and you don't like it for whatever reason, I don't know why you wouldn't, but they also have something called a bed jet. A bed jet I have also had. I didn't personally like it. So what that is, you don't have to get their sheet, but I did, and I would recommend it because it has these little it holds the little fan part in place. So it's like this attachment that blows air out. And their particular sheets that you get from them covers it and holds onto it and keeps it in place. And it just blows air on you at whatever temperature you set it at. I didn't care for that because I don't like air blowing directly on me. Like even in the car, I don't like my air conditioner blowing in my face and stuff. So I did not enjoy that. You might like that. So if you try the chili pad and you're like, it's not for me, maybe get the bed jet a try. But at any rate, I do highly, highly, highly recommend the chili pad. Like I said, the original model. And I think it will absolutely 100% change your sleep at night. It will make it so much better. It's honestly hard to sleep without it now. Like if we're visiting someone or I'm in a hotel or something, it's really hard for me to sleep without it. It gives you the best sleep with no night sweats. The next practical way to help alleviate perimenopause and menopause symptoms is something probably we all know, but maybe this will be a good reminder for you. You need to make sure that you're getting enough protein, fiber, and healthy fats in each meal. Getting the right amount of those in each meal is going to help reduce anxiety, stress, mood swings, and it's going to help prevent energy crashes. Now, on top of that, try to not skip meals. I know it's easy to do. Sometimes you get busy. Sometimes you just don't feel hungry. But if you can kind of get in a routine of eating each meal and not skipping meals, it's really going to help with those things as well. Now, if you do intermittent fasting, please don't come for me. You do you. You continue to do what works for yourself. That's absolutely fine. We're all entitled to that. But maybe when you are eating, if you're having the perimenopause and menopause symptoms, maybe evaluate each meal that you're eating, whenever you're eating, and make sure you're getting enough of those macronutrients and nutrients that your body really does need. Next, you've probably heard this over and over and over, and I'm going to say it as well, but strength training. You really need to be lifting some weights. Not only is it good for your muscles, but it's good for your bones and bone density. Very, very important. Maybe you can't lift a lot. I have been out of the gym, I'll be honest, for far too long, and I'm trying to get back into it. So I am much, much weaker than when I was lifting regularly. So you know what? I'm not going to just go in and pick up 50 pounders and start trying to pump weight. No, start out small and build up gradually. You do need to be lifting heavy and continually like growing in that, but you don't have to start out that way. Don't go too hard too soon. I'm very guilty of that. And then you end up hurting yourself, or then you're so sore you can't go back for like 2 weeks while your muscles recover. Don't do that. Just start out slow and build up gradually. And what is heavy for one person is not going to be heavy for the next, and vice versa. So that is different for every single person. But I do highly recommend getting back into strength training. It'll do wonderful things for you, not just for your muscles and your bones, bone density, but also for your mental health. Very important, and I think sometimes we undersell it. Next up, we have silk pillowcases, like these. So, maybe your hair's drying out a little bit. Happens sometimes with age and being in perimenopause and menopause. It can happen. Or maybe your hair's just kind of gotten frizzier. These things can all be solved with silk pillowcases. Now, I really wasn't sure that I was going to buy into the hype of it being more gentle on your hair than like a cotton pillowcase or something. But it is. I have way less frizz now that I'm sleeping on a silk pillowcase. So I highly recommend that. And the added bonus is that it also has the cooling effect. So, maybe you have a linen pillowcase, and that's great too for the cooling. But when it comes to the smoothing of the hair, I would recommend these silk pillowcases. Okay, so maybe you don't just have night sweats. Maybe you have hot flashes throughout the day. I've only had a few of those, and they have been horrible. 1 minute, I'm kind of cold, and the next minute it's like I am in a fiery furnace and I have to get everything off. My response to that would be to wear layers. Make sure you're layering things. Even if you live in a hot or cold climate, I would still layer things. I live in a very hot climate, and even when it is 100 degrees outside, I still take cardigans, sweaters, that kind of thing to work because they have the air running, you know, inside the offices, and they get very cold. So I'm bundled up, and then all of a sudden it's like hell hath released its heat on my body, so I have to get it off. And you know, like, you can't just strip down at work. It's not really appropriate. So it seems very obvious, but sometimes people don't think about it. But make sure you are layering your clothes no matter what climate you live in, because when you need to get things off, you need to get it off. And then if you're really cold after, you want to be able to bundle up a little bit. If you're lucky enough to be at home during a hot flash, good on you. I would highly recommend freezing some washcloths. Just throw them in your freezer, get them wet, throw them in your freezer, and then when you're having a hot flash, grab one of those. Sure, frozen peas also work. However, I feel like a washcloth is just a little softer for one once it starts to unfreeze, thaw out, but it's a little bit more pliable as well. And nothing feels better than sticking a cold anything really on the back of your neck. Head, great. Cheeks, great. Chest, great. But on the back of your neck, there's just something about it. But at any rate, yes, peas work. That is fine too. But I would just say go ahead and put 3 or 4 wet washcloths and freeze them, and then grab one of those when hot flash hits. And I just think it'll do the trick a little bit better than frozen vegetables. Okay, we're gonna hop back into nutrition. Avoid known hot flash triggers. What are those? And honestly, it probably could be different for every single person, but some well-known ones are spicy food, caffeine, alcohol, and sugary items. So really all the yummy stuff. Those are things you really need to watch. And I would say, you know, that probably isn't going to be universal to everyone, but if you're starting to have those hot flashes and stuff, maybe think about what you were eating leading up to that, or what you had, you know, a meal or two before your hot flash happened, and then kind of keep a running log. And if you start to see some patterns, then that's what you know could possibly be a trigger for you. And it very well could be one of those things, because like I said, those are very well-known common triggers. Sticking with nutrition, if you can include some phytoestrogens in your diet, and that is, you know, phyto means plant, so plant estrogens. If you can include some of those in your diet, those are known to help alleviate hot flashes. So those are things like flax seeds, lentils, and soy products. Those things are known to help reduce hot flashes. So if you haven't thought about that, or if you don't have those in your diet, maybe think about adding those in and seeing if that will help reduce the hot flashes that you may be having. Because if you've had one, you know how miserable it is. And it's kind of like you'll do anything to not have that happen again. So just something to consider. If you want to elevate good moods and reduce stress, I would recommend thinking about taking part in hobbies or things you used to like to do. Maybe you haven't reached the point of feeling apathetic about things. I am currently there. Everything I've always loved, I'm just kind of like meh about. So it's one of those things you're gonna have to force yourself to do. And I think once you start doing them, you're gonna realize, oh my goodness, this does make me feel so good. I used to love doing this, and I remember why now. So think about doing things like daily walks, getting outside into nature, reading, adult coloring or reverse coloring. I love reverse coloring. Yoga, whatever it is, crocheting, knitting, whatever it is you enjoy doing, just make yourself do it, okay? Like I said, you're gonna feel kind of apathetic, or you might feel apathetic. And just like non-motivated to do it. But truly, if you will push yourself to do those things, I do think you're gonna see a difference in how your mood is, and you're gonna feel a whole lot better. Perimenopause and menopause symptoms don't have to take over your life. It feels like they are, but they don't have to. With just a few simple adjustments, you can manage those things with confidence. Just gotta tweak a few things in your daily life and in your habits. And that's the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. Please hit the subscribe button and join our teeny tiny little family here on the YouTubes. I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean a whole lot to me. And share the video if you'd like and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.